am a non-party member, but had Yabloko had a group of friends of Yabloko, I would have been the first friend of Yabloko. And I am actually, and I have been helping the Yabloko party for many years, and I have been working with Yabloko at different levels. You know, one thinker, Jürgen Habermasser, once said that the state is public power. That's what he said, word for word. And for me and for my colleagues, this is not just a figure of speech. This is a very important idea. And to explain what I mean, please let me tell you about an organization that I represent, the Moscow-Helsinki Group. Thank you very much. Grigory Yevlinsky asked a question. What will happen 30 or 40 years from now? He said that he foresees or forecasts two centers of power, Asia, North America, where will be Russia, where will be Europe. But next year it will be the 40th anniversary of the organization that we belong to. And 40 years ago, people working under pressure and, not hoping for the political change to happen, got together in the apartment of academician Sakharov, and they said, we will write down the truth. In 1975, the Helsinki Act was signed, and the USSR signed it, actually, because, he was told that the USSR will not have to implement the Helsinki Act, and, they had to sign it because there was something about the outcome of the Second World War, and, the third basket was about human rights, and, people thought, the Russian government thought that they would have to do nothing there, and, there were not many photographs done at that time. It was very dangerous to take a picture with Sakharov and some other people. Not all the members of the Moscow-Helsinki group are gathered here, but those people understood only too well that such a decision was a very dangerous one to get together to protect the Helsinki Act, the final act of Helsinki. And, these people got 60 years in prison cumulatively and 40 years of exile. They realized what they were doing, but this group was working. This group was publishing materials. They were published in the West, and radio stations would take up information and disseminate it. They were talking about the real situation on the ground with human rights, and other countries found out that there were repressed peoples, repressed ethnic groups. The situation in prisons were worse than one can imagine, and so on and so forth. So it was a very meek voice, but it was the voice of truth, and it made it possible for people to feel dignity. This year I was talking to Krzysztof Zanussi, a well-known film director in Poland, and I asked him this. I said, Mr. Zanussi, under the Polish People's Republic in the 80s, you would get together in your kitchens and your apartments to discuss the laws of a new independent Poland. What was the guiding line for you? You didn't know that you will live to see an independent Poland, that it would take several years from then to see an independent Poland. We wanted to feel humane. We wanted to have a feeling of dignity, and this was a very important factor. And I'm very happy that the Yabloko party, most of the people in Russia, not knowing anything about human rights, notwithstanding, these people are still protecting these rights. People don't know what it is to be a human with dignity, and I'm very glad that the Yabloko party, understanding that they're using part of their electorate, has proclaimed that human rights are very important as values.
Lyudmila Alexeyeva, our chairman, this year she was 88, became 88, and she was awarded the prize of Václav Havel in the Parliamentary Assembly of Europe. And she continues to be very active in the protection of human rights in this country. This part I'll skip because of a shortage of time, but I want to focus on some other thing associated with Yabloko. Recently, we emphasize civic control over the actions of police. This slide. And this is one of the things we do. Monitoring the laws encroaching upon the human rights, and we publish regular reports, analysis, and hold expert meetings to bring that to the fore, to explain to the people how the authorities try to restrict human freedoms, and why the constitutional courts and the other courts are side with the government in that respect. We monitor there, we take notes of all these cases, and we publish those cases for the benefit of our people. Since 2013, we started an all-Russia campaign which is called The Citizen and Police. Last year, we reported 500 facilities or objects that we monitor. This year it's 1,500, and it's our volunteers who do that. Here in this campaign, we have Yabloko involved as well. One of them present here who participates in this campaign, and he presented in the previous session, Mikhail Menchikov. And we can see Grigory Semyonov here on this slide. He also participated in the first half of the conference. And I believe this is very productive interaction that we have with Yabloko. We're pursuing this campaign together with the Ministry of the Interior, right, with the police itself, and we feel the support of the minister in what we do in monitoring policing. And this year we want to prove a methodology on how to monitor police actions during elections. I do think that we have a lot of common in terms of interest there. I invite you to participate in a working group that is going to develop those methods that we're going to use. We will seek the approval of those methods with the Minister of the Interior, and since next year that methodology would be available, and we'll also have hopefully the support of the Minister of the Interior in that. And this is it.